Hey, good morning. This is Tammy Davis, aromacologist, phytotherapist, and hiker, lover of hikes and being outdoors. And if this is your first time to my channel, thanks and welcome. Thanks for joining in. I really wanted to talk about the immune system. I know I've talked about this in other videos, and again, let me just go before I say anything else. If you are new to my channel, hi. But I have been doing it this way just so you can either take a look at the scenery as I hike or, you know, go off and do something and be listening, kind of like a podcast. I just like the video thing because the fact is like, it's just nice to see. And I'm not that technically savvy when it comes to adding images to podcasting and so forth. But I do recognize that material on YouTube is sought after. So here I am. So anyway, like I said, I've talked about the immune system before, and but I just was thinking about this because I'm about to enter into a meeting with a local doctor, and was just thinking along the lines of who I am, why I am, and really what I'm about, okay? As far as healthcare is concerned. Just because I'm an aromacologist and phytotherapist does not mean I'm against medications. I do believe they have their purpose, especially in chronic situations. However, they are so targeted that living on medications alone is not the answer. And this is what brings me to this point, using herbs and natural options like essential oils is not the answer either. I know that's going to sound very strange because we have so much evidence, right? I mean, we can look back, and this is the reason why they even study the plants in the for the purpose of drug development. This is a large portion of my research, is identifying the plant constituents that they are researching when it comes to the human genome and its effect on the receptors, and how they will single out these plant constituents. And then I work with that. Again, no, I am not, when I work alongside medications, I am not duplicating the mechanism of action. These medications are targeted, meaning they have very specific missions in our body. And to replicate that with naturals is foolish. And I'm going to be polite and just say it's foolish. I was thinking about, I work a lot with the Amish people. They know enough to be dangerous. They have a tendency to want to do everything natural, although they do go to the medical doctors, and a number of them that I work with do take medications. Some of them have a goal to come off the meds. Others don't want to come off the meds. So it's totally up to the individual. I just support them and help stabilize the body. And that's the whole concept to what I do. It's about stabilizing the body. It is not about trying to control the body. The body can control itself, and although you may say it's out of control, it's not out of control, nor is it defective. It is simply responding to the countless chemicals it is being exposed to on a daily basis. It's merely reacting to the thoughts and emotions that each one of us has on a daily basis. There are 45 million chemicals currently being used around the world. Tens of thousands of them, I believe there's over 70,000, have been identified as being xenoestrogens. But for the most part, these all influence our hormonal system. I mean, to say that the other ones don't, I believe is foolish. Again, foolish, because, or is thoughtless, truthfully, because anything that's a foreign chemical is going to send signals to the body that there's something that something doesn't belong. So it's going to alter its chemistry to either eliminate that, it has to break it down and eliminate it, or protect the body from it. Out of the Human Genome Project, it was announced that the human immune system is the most diverse gene complex, major histocompatibility complex, is the most widely diverse gene complex of any gene complex in the human body. What that means is that our immune systems are as different as our fingerprints. And this is significant. And this change, this imprint, came about during the time of the Black Plague. And of course, the fact that we're all here today enjoying this blue sky, wherever you are. Each one of us is here because our ancestors survived the Black Plague. Now, and as our world developed, technology grew, and this includes chemicals and medications, our bodies adapted even further. See, this is, again, the whole concept of human health. It's an adaptation based on what it was exposed to. This is why I say to use herbs and natural remedies for helping to restore wellness. It may work for some, but it's not a guarantee for everyone, just like, well, nothing is. And in part, that's because of the immune system. Number two, the human body is not what it was. We are a different species. We may look similar to our ancestors, but it's a different species because it has been adapting. That's all we do, is we're constantly adapting. The body's not static. It's constantly changing. And so through these changes, we cannot treat it in the same manner that our ancestors did. We can't open up a book and go, oh, this plant is good for this. Oh, this plant is good for that. Especially when you're combining it with medications. But again, the immune system also is different. And so and I'm really focusing a lot right now in my mind, I haven't said it out loud, on these herbs and oils that are good for stimulating the immune system. Well, that may seem good because somebody may be prone to colds and flus. To take these things on a regular basis is a thoughtless decision because of the diversity. And here's the thing, just because you get a cold and flu does not mean your body's weak. It actually means your immune system's working. It's defending you against whatever you were exposed to. What it does signify, though, is that your body is taxed, stressed. Keep in mind, stress is a protection mechanism. It is a reaction that the body produces in response to mind, emotions, and environment. And of course, physical stress, too. So, like injury. So stress reaction is a natural reaction. And chronic stress, let me back up a minute. Stress itself alters the way the chemicals are produced. In other words, our chemistry needed to thrive is shifted into oxidative stress, which is chemistry needed to survive. That's all oxidative stress is. And when the threat's gone, pardon me for walking and hiking uphill and talking are, and over a mile high. And even though I'm used to hiking every single day, like I said, hiking up a hill and talking kind of makes you winded. Anyway, now that I'm through that. So where was I? So the stress reaction is a natural reaction, and oxidative stress is a chemical, are chemicals needed for survival. So if you've been injured, and it'll release chemicals that produce inflammation to keep you protected, padded, help eliminate the microbes that are potentially threatening you. This is the whole concept of oxidative stress. It also protects us from the chemicals that I was talking about earlier. But if this is going on all the time, it's fair to say that we live in a state of chronic oxidative stress. Hence the reason why people talk about needing to take antioxidants, because the body's not producing the antioxidants it needs in order to thrive. Antioxidants are what we produce that deactivate the oxidative stress. That's a fact. Glutathione has many purposes in the body, one of them of which is it actually deactivates the oxidation of dopamine. Dopamine is what gets oxidized in the presence of heavy metals and then stores it in the brain. So here we lead into a lot of mental and emotional disturbances, movement disorders and such. So, here's my buddy. This is my hiking buddy. So at any rate, like I said, stress is a natural reaction by the body. And so to do things that have antioxidants helps in the moment, but it doesn't stop the oxidative process. I'm not talking to you, Theo, sorry. Thanks for paying attention, buddy. It doesn't eliminate it doesn't turn it off. It doesn't deactivate it, is what I'm trying to say. It just merely helps to relieve the stress, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's not preventing the oxidative stress from continuing. So with that said, the more diverse our immune systems, the more chronically stressed our body is, chances are we're going to have, depending on our immune system, experience more colds and flus. It's a no-brainer. Your body's stressed, and again, when it's in the chronic mode, it's completely altered the way we break down foods, especially glucose and proteins. Proteins are what actually activate. That's what antibodies are. I mean, antibodies will fight the proteins of bacteria and viruses. And so it's, the potential for having partially broken down protein in the bloodstream, but not being able to fully assimilate it for its amino acids, means that the body could potentially be attacking itself. Now you have another level of immune issues, which that means your immune system's already activated again. So to be taking things that stimulate immunity is not wise on an ongoing basis, because all you're doing is prompting the immune system to continue on, and this is what's actually leading to a lot of the breakdown. This is where we come in with autoimmune disorders. This is the reason why when we see things happening in people, we recognize the potential for autoimmune, fibromyalgia and so forth. So this is an important piece. And in my realm, it's about stabilizing the body. It's about helping the body adapt, peacefully adapt. It's not about controlling it. In fact, I'm starting a radio program here in Madrid, and it's going to be all about being out of control. Because war, if you look at it that way, is an attempt to control. It is an attempt to control something. That's just what war is. And excuse me a moment. So yeah, that's what war, and essentially when we do, our current medical model is a declaration of war on the body, and it's about controlling it. And like I said, nature already has control, but if we help it to stabilize, then the body can proceed in a more responsive manner as opposed to reactive manner, if that makes any sense. So whether you're taking medications or not, really understanding what your system is doing is absolutely necessary. It's absolutely necessary. We can't be freaking out and going, oh my God, I'm sick. I got to stop this. That's control. We have to be willing to handle our health care out of control. And what that means is through stabilization. And that's where, working with somebody outside of your, somebody, a third party, such as me, to consult with and guide you and answer these questions in a way that helps you move forward, as opposed to continue to be more responsive instead of reactionary. Because that's the beauty of our relationship. We actually have this wonderful relationship with our body where we can, in fact, assist it, help stabilize it. Anyway, I don't want to keep puffing and puffing in your ear. I hope that makes sense today. We've got a lot of busy dogs. And yeah, visit me on Synergessence, Twitter, Instagram, at Tammy Davis 8, and or email tammy@synergessence.com. All right. Oh, and I also have a Facebook. That link's in the box below. Thanks, you guys. Talk to you soon.